What's up, Mananap? Welcome to this session. So for today, we are going to discuss about data types. By the way, when we talk about data types, in every programming language, you actually need to declare or use variables to actually store data or information. So, variables are actually used to store data or information. Maybe it is coming from the user, is actually parang it's already initialized within our program. However, variables are nothing but just a reserved memory location so that we are able to actually store values to it. This means that when you create a variable, you actually reserve some space in your memory, or you actually allocate certain space in your. So if you would like to store information on various data types like character, integer, float, uh, double with or with decimal places, also with like string or boolean. So we'll need a data type. So yeah, data type are actually used to define a certain variable or used to define a variable. So we're gonna be needing some of these primitive data types. And then okay, so to start with, I have here a program. Okay, so later on uh, I'm gonna be introducing to you some of the types that are actually uh, used parang mostly useful sa isa ka sa C++ or even sa programming language or sa isa ka programming. So going yeah, now actually data type in C++, there are actually a lot of there are actually what there is actually what we call primitive data type and built-in types in C++. So say for an instance, by the way, primitive types normally uh, written in a lowercase values, written in a lowercase. So like for an instance, you declare something like int val. Okay, so the variable val is actually stored. It's actually has data type int, and it's actually a primitive type. Okay, for there is an equivalent what they call this one data type which is built in which are actually class types or an object types. There's this what they call the integer something. But we are going to discuss that one in the for now. Let's discuss muna the build types and what are the use of these types. So let's talk about a short type. Let's say for an instance we have here. Let's say val short. This is a data type, and then we are going to what we call this one. Val short, by the way, is like 2 bytes. To know its actually to know its bytes, we can actually use or call the size of function. Val, let's get to run this one. Yeah, so it's actually 2 bytes there. Now you can actually see there 2 bytes, and then let's put something like there. We are going to display another, let's say, size of int. Okay, let's see how much is int, how much byte an int has. So backslash 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 n. So yeah, there you have that's 4 bytes. So I guess the for us to actually get the value of like the range value, I mean more than the knowing the bytes, of course, we'll have to know the range values of this data type. So to actually get the value of this the range value of the certain data type, actually first is it's actually written in a book, or you can actually look for it in a through an online. And there's a formula actually to that, which is you'll you'll need to, so since one byte is equivalent to 8 bits, that is, therefore you are going to multiply the size of this 2 bytes times the 8 now, something like you'll need to multiply this to that one, and then yeah, so I guess that's it. And then you'll need to get the power or the exponent of like power of, yeah, you'll need to get the exponent 2 raised to the power of the size of one. Uh, sige, try na to ha. We have here as 16 bytes, yeah, times 8. Then we'll be using like math, how, size of this one. And actually here, run this one. To size. Let's store muna this one. While okay, store this here while short, and let's, anyway, you can short. Then we are going to get the, or uh, put the value of val short as an exponent of 2. That's the time we can, oops, what happened? Val short, mm, happened in main in function. Okay. Sorry, because, sorry for that, no? There's one library that we need to include. We have here math that, so math is actually a library in C++ for, it's a built in, it's a library in C++ that we can actually use for defining or declaring or using a mathematical calculation. For for now, let's only use POW, and in the future, I mean, in the succeeding topics, we are going to get delved into. Okay, so let's run this one, and we'll have there, pero kung nagsobra, no, short, supposed to be 32,000, lang na to, ha? 55,000, right, short. Supposed to be short is like 32,000. So we here, yeah, there. So 32,768. Let's just 32,768. That's positive, negative. Yeah, 32,768 and positive 32,000. Anyway, if you're confused about it, what I'm trying to elaborate there is that, okay, let's erase, and all erase this one. Okay. So each data type has bytes. Now each data type has bytes there. So this, because every time we create a variable that specific type, it is going to allocate space to your memory. And then we use that bytes now sizes, no, to, because again, every na sila na sa nag-represent na sila og pila ka bytes ang ilahang gina-consume sa to. Okay? Which is mao nang i-assign na allocation dito sa ang RAM. Okay. So, for an instance, no, let's say for an instance, mag-ano tawag short na value, let's say short val, and then um, based on the max value of the short data type, it's actually negative 32,768, negative 32,768 to positive 32,707. Okay, so meaning to say, if you're gonna be using short now as your data type, and therefore the the only uh, the only range values, the limit, no, parang limit of the values or number or range values that it can actually store is up to from the from this one negative 32,768 to 32,767 positive. So how is that? Uh, for example, ha, inane, I'm going to define or initialize my variable to, let's say, 2,000. So this val is at this 2,000 is actually assigned to val, which is of type short. If you're going to run this one, basically ang iyang button is i-display lang niya ang number. Okay? Now, what if mula pa siya to its limit, like buta na to negative 32,007, bisan isa lang na 769. Okay, so when you run that negative 32,760, ay ibutan na to 700. So as you can see, dili na mao ang iyang gina-display, it is actually converted automatically into ano no, certain value. So supposed to be dapat 32,769. So it's actually saying na it's an indication na the value is actually instead of dapat ang expected na 32,769 ang mo-display sa val is now going to be negative 32,707, which is actually ang calculation ang nagiunsa na niya pag ano ang 32,000 na negative 767 is uh, i-minus lang niya to 32,769, which is minus ana 2, then yeah, no, minus 2 is 32,767, which is dapat dili positive kasi in a unsigned na siya. Sorry, signed number should be in a negative value. Actually sa Java, dili na siya allowed. Okay? So pero sa C++ it's allowed, but it's not allowed, but it's automatically converted para dili mag-error. Okay? So what I'm trying to say here is that mura siya og ang data types, mura na siya containers, no? Like say na kay glass of water na can only store 5 ml. Tapos na kay glass of water na 10 ml iyang kaya i-store ang 2 ml of waters, and then apod kay, di ba, natin 2, napod kay 4 ml na glass, pwede maka-anong water, and then what else? 10 ml, and then so on and so forth. So ang data types has it's like that na nice different sizes na only na naay limit. Okay? And when a limit is going to be like mag-exceed siya sa iyang limit, and therefore dili na siya mao ang value na gina-hold. Okay? So mura lang gud mura kung giingon ba analogy of katong glass of water. If butahan nimo to water ang 5 ml na glass of water na 7 ml, syempre mabutangan siya water pero waste ang uban water, no? So muagas, mawala, no? But obviously mapuno ang tubig, and then you just wasted mapuno ang tubig, mapuno ang glass, and you just wasted water from it. Okay? Yeah, so that's it, no? That's actually the work of data type. So you have actually a lot common data types na as C++, like you have car, oh, car, car is ano tag car ch, this is actually integer value niya is negative 127 to positive 128, which is actually equivalent to 256 characters. Okay, kana makita ninyo na sa atong keyboard na 256 characters. What else? Yeah, 255 to 256, no, positive, negative. And then for int code, si int, 2 2 billion na siya. 2 billion ang iyang kaya. That's actually 4 bytes. 2 billion ang kaya niya i-hold. So what I'm trying to elaborate here is that when you are going to to like create a program that would only accept a like age, for an instance, now age na value. So instead of using int, okay, you will use short. So why? Because you can actually save memory. Okay, because again, wala naman siguro age na moabot o like 2 billion, no? Even thousands. Yeah, ang short gani is 32,700 up to 32,767. Wala na gay moabot inana na age. Therefore, we have to be careful in dealing with our sa atong program, no, in defining what data type we are going to use, because in that sense we are actually able like save memory, save some space to our the same way happen na mura kag let's say na kay 1,000 liter of kuan ba liter of kanang container, tapos ang imong isulod lang dito is 1 liter lang out of 1,000 liter. So 1,000 liter is quite big, tapos ang ibutang lang nimo na tubig dito is 1 liter. Okay, so obviously it's impractical. So it's the same thing happens right here. So to actually know some of the data types, we have data types na short int. Let's try short int for this one. Gana ba siya? Short int 32,769. So that's it. Ano na nga po siya? So we have short int, we have long int. So long int is actually a 8 bytes. Next is we have sa pa ganito, a float, a double. These are actually some of the basic types or primitive types in C++. And there are actually a lot more of data types in C++. But these are actually most used data types. So including na siya diya si car, and then to know their values, we can actually use the what we call this one, have int min, start with short min. Okay, so and then iyahang min is let's say 2, short max will do the same. Sorry, not man command T, wait, will do the same for int. Int. Let's run this one and so kailangan na to backslash n, kain lang, and then so there you are, the range value for the now using min and max. You have there for short, it's actually up to 32,768 to 32,767 positive. And then ang int di is 2 billion, negative di siya, negative 2,147,483,648. Then iyang ano is plus 1 lang, which is 647 positive. Okay? So what else? For let's say car, no? Character, atong tanaw ng character. daw was not declared or was in commission on ayun, 128 to 127. So, pwede po siya for long mean, long mean, long max, and then i-run na to siya. You have here, so there, no? So, and there are, you can, that's actually how you can, you will know the range values of a type. So again, what I'm trying to elaborate in this, program is that as a programmer, you don't just you don't just use the data type because you can. I mean, it doesn't mean you can, you should do it. So, mura lang na siya upuan ba na pwede ka mag-cheat pero pwede ka mag-cheat imong buhaton, no? So, sa programming is similar. Especially there is a data type. As a programmer kasi or as a computer science student or IT students, we have to make sure na atong program is uh, only giving parang requiring no much not much resources or memory. Okay, one of it is kanina no morning, which is actually learn na ninyo in the study of data structures and algorithm and also with like analysis of algorithm. So that's one step closer to that because when you get to at least this time as early as now when you get to when you get to declare a variable or use a certain type of variable, at least you know better if I'm gonna be only accepting a small amount of small amount of value, a number. So instead of using int, which is actually ang range value is up to 2 billion, why not use short instead, no? Which is at least medyo nakasave ka of space and RAM or something. Okay, so that's actually the idea why data types are important. I mean, that's the study of data types are important. Because sometimes programmers tend to, not learn this one. They just whenever they create a program, hala bira sige lang ihimo lang siya dra og declare lang dra og variables. Even ang yang ano lang ang i-accept na value is let's say 1 to 10. Tapos ang gamiton na value is like integer, no? So 'di ba? You have that's 1 to 10 is actually far from 2 billion. Okay? So I hope you guys learned from today's discussion and have a great day. See you guys next, see you guys sa sunod na to na discussion. Bye-bye.